Ridley, can you tell us a little bit about what it was like working with not just these two, but the amazing ensemble? Obviously, I think we have to mention Noomi Rapace, who is awesome, Idris Elba, who is just incredible, Logan Marshall Green, who you guys have not really met yet, but is great. Can you talk a little bit about the cast of the movie?
Yeah, I mean, once the most difficult thing is set is the script, the story in the script. Thanks to this gentleman, right? Give
him a hand!
Yeah.
We all know it will be my fault if the movie sucks, so thank you. Very well played.
And the next most important thing is who am I going to have to play all these wonderful parts. And so I spent a great deal of time thinking, and with, of course, a good casting director. But I've already got pretty good preconceptions of, you know, who the main players are going to be. Therefore, I just hope that that's who I'm going to get, because I've done enough homework by that moment, and also I've watched them enough to think that what I'm looking for when I'm, you know, going to work with an actor, actress, is that I've said this before. I really talk about the screenplay initially. I spent a couple of hours just talking to them as a person, and trying to get them to open up and evolve themselves. Because then I now know who they are as a person as best I can in the 2-hour process. Because I'm always looking for someone who actually is going to be a good partner with me in the process of making a movie. Because that's how I like to do it. I like it, whatever I do, whenever I work in a film, I try to make it always an ensemble. Because that way you get better work, you get interaction on and off camera, and it just makes for better performances.
Charlize, you are a movie star. I'm also gonna pretend like we're friends. When you get an opportunity to be in an ensemble like this, when you, as opposed to having to carry an entire movie on your own, is that a relief? How is that different?
Yeah, you know, I think even when you are if you are the lead, you can't think that way, because it just, I think there's no room for that kind of thought. It kind of muddles what you were supposed to do, and I think can kind of throw you off the track that you need to stay on just in order to tell a good story. And I think when you start thinking about things that you can't really control, and I will say though, I love being around actors, and I think that's when I'm at my best. I think there was something about this cast that really was a driving force for me to want to do it. And yeah, everyone but Michael Fassbender was really great, I have to say.
Speaking of Michael Fassbender, you play we call him a cybernetic individual, an android.
I call him a robot.
A robot named David. What's it like to play a robot? So you're a human who's playing a robot who's pretending to be a human. Is that fun? Is it more complicated? Can you just talk about that a little bit?
Well, they kind of neutralize each other out, so in the end you just sort of play it straight. No, I mean the thing, you know, we discussed it. It wasn't like it was going to be a reveal of any sort. We were going to get the sort of the fact that David is a robot is revealed early in the film. And then, you know, it was just, again, the wonderful hints that Ridley sort of put my way before we started. He was like, take a look at The Servant film with Dirk Bogarde and various other things. And so, you know, the idea that he was a butler type character, you know, that he's there to sort of service the aircraft and the crew on it. And, you know, then I sort of thought, well, what sort of physicality I'm going to find there. And for some reason I thought of Greg Louganis. I don't know, early on I thought of this guy. I always remembered him when I was younger, and I sort of see him sort of, you know, just the way he walked before he sort of dived off the sort of diving board or high block or whatever. And I always thought there was something very funny about it to begin with. And also there was a real economy of movement. And I thought that would lend quite well to David. And then I just really wanted to have as much fun as possible with the character. And then also the question of like, okay, how much of a programming will start to program itself? So you have this robot who's supposed to respond and interact with human beings and be able to sort of understand human beings, would that start to manifest itself in other forms? Would he start to develop his own personality traits, an ego, insecurities, all the fun human stuff? And then it was just a sort of about, you know, playing around with that really, and seeing sort of how much, for the audience when they're watching him, they're like, is this guy taking the piss? Or is he for real? So that was kind of what we were playing with, I think.
Do robots piss? Does
They do, but only to make humans feel more comfortable around them.
Yes. Good answer.